Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building. And before we get started today, I just want to say thank you, God, for another day and another opportunity. And as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today I'm going to be showing y'all how to create the best 1v1 build two-way glass cleaning slasher on the NBA 2K23 next gen, but this is also going to be applicable to current gen as well. So if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Turn on post notifications because I'm uploading every single day, and y'all definitely don't want to miss the content that I got in store for y'all. And I would appreciate it if everybody went ahead and smashed that like button. So I got ahead and break it down to y'all. I'm telling you, I might have found the best 1v1 build in all of 2K this year. The glass cleaning slasher is back with a two-way twist, and the main thing that I want to go ahead and say about this build, we're getting every single elite contact dunk, bully on Hall of Fame, a lot of different badges, including posterizer, y'all. So before we get any further, man, if you have not done so already, be sure to smash that like button and comment down below. Where are you tuning in from watching today? This is going to be one of the strongest finishing and defensive builds, especially when it comes down to the playmaking. Now we're going to have the potential at a few different 100 plus stats, but let's go ahead and get started by putting this build under the power forward position. Now if you do want to make it under the center or small forward, you definitely can do so, since now we're able to make point guards all the way up to 6'9", 6'10". But getting started with the height on this build, I decided to go a little bit smaller than the meta currently is, and that's going to be at 6'6". Now I'm telling you, throughout the year, 6'9s and 6'8s and even 6'10s will not completely dominate each season. I truly believe that with patches and updates, every single build is going to continue to be more well-rounded once we go throughout the year. So go with the height of 6'6", 260 when it comes down to the weight, with a 7'2" wingspan. Now this is one of the only builds that we're able to unlock the burly body shape for, and y'all definitely know that I'm going with the big body. Now let's go ahead and first get started with the physicals out of this build. I'm going to go with the 75. Now from here, when it comes down to my acceleration, go with the 74, or you can put this to a 75 later on. Now when it comes down to my strength, I'm going to go with the 96, and that right there is going to allow us to get a 100 plus strength once we get that gym rat badge. Now when it comes down to my vertical, I'm going to go with an 82 to get the elite contact dunks, and then when it comes down to the stamina, I'm going to go with an 89 today. Pretty much will be a 93 once we get that gym rat badge. Now let's go ahead and move on to the defensive end. So for my defensive rebound, I'm going to go with the 93, 83 when it comes down to my offensive. Now for the block and steal, make sure you go about this to your own liking. I'm going to go with the 78 when it comes down to my block. As for the steal, this will be a 77. Now moving on to the perimeter defense, this is going to be one of the areas where you have the potential to get a 100 plus stat. 92 when it comes down to the perimeter, and the same thing when it comes down to the interior. 87, and with rim protecting takeover as well as bind boost for this area, you'll be able to get a potential of 100 plus interior and perimeter defense. Now if you want to change up the numbers, you definitely can do so. Like you can see right here, if you go ahead and lower the interior defense into the 70s, you're not losing any batch tiers or even any batch points, but again, you do take a huge risk on the interior defense. Now overall, when it comes down to the badges, out of tier 1, we get Hall of Fame box out beast and also gold rebound chaser. Now when it comes down to tier 2, bronze anchor as well as gold chase down artist. And then when it comes down to tier 3, I'm happy that we do get challenger on gold, clamps, and then silver, or you can go ahead and change this, but again, you can go with at least bronze glove when it comes down to tier 3. Now again, that really depends on your steal and perimeter defense. When it comes down to the playmaking, however, this is going to be one of the stronger areas of this build as well. Go with the pass accuracy of a 70, 85 for your ball handle, and an 83 speed with ball. That right there is going to bring us up to a total of 20 badges, and the ones that I'm mainly looking at are going to be out of tier 2. Look at that, we get gold hyperdrive, quick first step, as well as unpluckable on silver. Then when it comes down to tier 3, silver handles for days as well as killer combos. Super good setup to start out with, especially when it comes down to the offensive end. But now once we go ahead and get into the finishing, I'm telling you, one of the strongest, if not the definite strongest area on this build. I'm going to go with the post control of an 87, another 100 plus stat. Then when it comes down to my standing dunk and my driving dunk, both of these are going to be a 99, and remember, you still have pro dribble moves out of this build. Go with an 80 when it comes down to the driving layup, and then go ahead and leave that 64 when it comes down to the close shot. This right there gives us 25 badges, and I'm telling you, every single badge when it comes down to the finishing is pretty much going to be a Hall of Fame badge. Now I'm looking at the fact that we do get Bully. Limitless Takeoff will be on gold, but we do get Posterizer in Hall of Fame, Pro Touch, as well as Back Down Punisher. Now this is pretty much what the build is going to be looking like. We have the potential of pro dribble moves, elite contact dunks, then we also get a 100 plus driving dunk, standing dunk, post control, interior, and perimeter defense with both our offensive and defensive rebound. Now this is all if you buy the +4 when it comes down to your finishing, playmaking, and your defensive area. Also, if you do run with teammates that do have on floor general, that's going to give you another +4, so +8 in total. I think that there's a lot of different things that you should take into consideration when making any type of build, but when it comes down to these takeovers, remember, that's going to play a huge factor in not only of our playstyle for this build, but what we're actually going to be able to do. Now, I'm making a few adjustments. Now, as long as you maintain the original badge count of 72, everything will be perfect, and you can even go ahead and try to get extra badges if you wanted to. The main thing that I would recommend keeping the same is definitely going to be the rebounding, also your pass accuracy. Now this build actually reminds me of a few different NBA players, the first one being Zion Williamson, also low-key LeBron James without any shooting. Then you can also even go ahead and throw in Julius Randle. All of these are going to be some great comparisons. Now if you wanted to go ahead and try to get some free throw out of this build, you definitely can do so, but in my honest opinion, I do not think it's worth it, especially with what we're giving up. So go ahead and keep everything the same as is, but again, the maximum that you're able to get when it comes down to the free throw without changing anything too drastic is going to be at least low 60s. Now going forward, I think when it comes down to the finishing, this is low-key a slasher build, but then once you look at the playmaking, easily could be a playmaker. Now for the defensive end, I think we're going to be able to guard any build 1 through the 5, especially if you're looking to play the rec. Now when it comes down to the steal and block, remember, these are going to be interchanging and adjustable, so if you want to put one higher than the other, that's another option that you can go with. But as far as for the pass accuracy, keep this above a 70. Now the way that we were able to make this build is really going to remind me of 2K21 and 2K22 days, especially when it came down to being a smaller type of build, but with the abilities that a lot of big men would have. Now when it comes down to the takeovers, we're able to get the slashing, also going to be able to get the lockdown, glass cleaning, and then finally the post scoring. So however you decide to go about it, base it off of your playstyle first, but remember, if you buy boosts and also pick particular takeovers, you'll be able to get a 100 plus for certain areas. Remember the driving dunk, standing dunk, post control, interior, and perimeter defense with both the offensive and defensive rebound. Now the first one that I would really consider is going to be finishing moves. The second one, you can go with advanced post moves, and this is going to be a solid setup to work with. Now let's go ahead and check out the build name to make sure we made it correctly. And as y'all can see, we have some really nice comparisons, Julius Randle, Zion Williamson, and as y'all can see, we have created the first ever two-way glass cleaning slasher build with a +100 driving dunk, standing dunk, as well as the post control. Now the interior defense and perimeter defense with both rebounding is honestly going to be one of the best you're going to be seeing all year. Now I'm not just saying that, remember, these are all going to be above +100 when it comes down to the stats. Now as far as for the badges, base these to your own liking. The ones that I did go with out of tier 1 is going to be Box Out Beast on Hall of Fame, as well as Rebound Chaser on Gold. Now for tier 2, we do get Bronze Anchor, as well as Gold Chase Down Artist. And then when it comes down to tier 3, Gold Challenger, Gold Clamps, as well as Bronze Glove. Now if you want to change any of the badges that I did put on, you definitely can do so to your own liking and playstyle. But again, this is pretty much what I think is going to be best for this particular build. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next area, the playmaking. I mentioned a lot of these badges earlier. Gold Hyperdrive, Quick First Step, then we get silver unpluckable, handles for days, as well as killer combos. Now normally, I would say throwing extra badges into the playmaking would be a huge help, but so far I feel like we have everything that we need in this area. Now to wrap it up, let's go ahead and check out the absolute best area of this build, the finishing. So the badges out of tier 1 that I did go with: Hall of Fame Back Down Punisher, Hall of Fame Pro Touch with Silver Rise Up, and then out of tier 3, if you were to throw on extra badges in this area, you'll also be able to put on Limitless Takeoff on Hall of Fame. And the main badges that I was trying to get for this build was going to be Hall of Fame Bully, and pretty much we're going to be set to go from here. This is the setup of badges that I would go with. Now again, if you would change it up, be sure to comment down below. How would you go differently about this build making? And if you enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you dropped a like. But again, I just want to say thank you, God, for another day and another opportunity. Thank y'all. And with all that being said, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Turn on post notifications because I'm uploading every single day. And I'm bringing y'all the most fire content and the latest and newest builds. Go ahead and smash that like button. And with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.